And we begin with this. President Donald Trump is calling out the city of Seattle. He tweeted, "Radical left Governor Jay Inslee, the mayor of Seattle, are being taunted and played at a level that our great country has never seen before. Take back your city now. If you don't do it, I will. This is not a game. These ugly anarchists must be stooped." He clearly meant stopped. "Immediately. Move fast." And domestic terrorists have taken over Seattle, run by radical left Democrats, of course. Law and order. Seattle Mayor Jenny Durkan is responding tonight. She says, quote, "Make us all safe, go back to your bunker, hashtag Black Lives Matter." And the governor now also replying, saying, quote, "A man who is totally incapable of governing should stay out of Washington state's business." Stoop tweeting. Back and forth there, and we've been watching it play out throughout tonight. Good evening. Thank you for being with us. I'm Jessica Janner Castro.
I'm Joyce Taylor.
Breaking now, this is a live look at the newly painted street in the so-called autonomous zone in Capitol Hill. Protesters are camped out and holding their ground, and tonight it's drawing the attention of President Trump. Late tonight, he took jabs at Governor Inslee and the mayor of Seattle on Twitter, saying they're being taunted. He wrote, "Take back your city now. If you don't do it, I will." Mayor Jenny Durkan fired back, tweeting, quote, "Make us all safe, go back to your bunker, hashtag Black Lives Matter." And Governor Inslee also responded, saying, quote, "A man who is totally incapable of governing should stay out of Washington state's business." Here's a map of the zone, which has now become the epicenter of the protests in Seattle. It surrounds the boarded up and abandoned East Precinct of the police department, and it partially borders Cal Anderson Park. We have team coverage on where the protesters, the police, and the community will go from here. KOMO's Cole Miller is live on Capitol Hill, where tonight protesters made a big statement on the streets. Cole?
They did just that, Eric. A big statement with art right here along Pine, really what's been the heart of this protest. Also tonight at this peaceful gathering, a few blocks up from where we are, people are gathered around a projector watching a movie. We're seeing people doing artwork in the streets, playing music, dancing, all while keeping that message of police reform in mind.
We need to continue moving forward.
With those paint rollers in hand, the streets are getting a makeover. Bold letters spelling out Black Lives Matter.
We have a voice out here. We have a presence. Now we need to continue moving forward.
At the entrance of what's being called the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, or CHAZ for short, that message and this movement continues.
Should be the ones controlling those decisions.
Speakers here have been sharing their stories, rallying these crowds to keep the focus on police reform. Mariah Marshall has been coming here for the last week.
Black men are being publicly executed. Kids are not exempt, women are not exempt, elderlies are not exempt. There's a situation going on, it needs to be handled.
And with this new neighborhood of sorts drawing plenty of visitors, Marshall at times has worried that message may be getting lost in all the noise.
We're mad. We're mad. It is what it is. That somebody was killed.
And to keep that message going, be it sharing stories or painting this street, many say they are going to keep coming out here.
We have to keep moving forward. We need better council members. We need better mayors. We need better governors out here in the United States of America.
And also tonight, we have seen some sign-up sheets floating around asking people to volunteer with food and water handout, as well as stepping up in a security kind of role. We're also seeing some tent scope a little closer to 12th, giving you the sense that there are folks here ready to be here for the long haul. Back to you.
Cole, thank you. Social media has been fanning rumors about what's really happening on Capitol Hill. So tonight we're going to separate the fact from the fiction. Stories have been circulating that protesters with guns had broken into the East Precinct and were occupying the building. Those stories are false. However, it is true that some people have been arming themselves and setting citizen checkpoints in the immediate neighborhood around the police station. Police say that while it's legal to open carry a weapon in our state, it is not legal to use guns to intimidate people or keep them from a public area. Tonight, some are calling for swift action to take back the East Precinct. Seattle Police says it's affecting the way police deal with public safety in the entire city. KOMO's Tammy Mutasa is live on Capitol Hill. And Tammy, you've been talking to law enforcement experts?
Yeah, that's right, Eric. And some sobering words from them tonight. Law enforcement experts say this autonomous zone can't continue for much longer for all our safety. SPD says they have to save up resources in case things go out of control again with looting, destruction, and burning cars.
Whose streets?
As protesters continue their hold on the 6-block area around the abandoned East Precinct, the question is, how long will it last?
They're going to have to be dealt with. It can't continue like that.
That's Jim Fuda, a 33-year law enforcement expert and the director of Law Enforcement Services for Crime Stoppers, which works with SPD. Fuda commends the chief for trying de-escalation and giving protesters concessions, like the 30-day ban on police officers using tear gas for crowd control. But he says SPD needs to take the precinct back sooner rather than later.
Some action's going to have to be taken. Is there federal laws broken? Does the FBI need to come in? But at some point, arrests and these people are going to have to be removed if they don't move.
SPD officials tell me it's a plan being developed with city officials. But in the meantime, Seattle police say right now they're only responding to priority 1 911 calls in the entire city. That means other emergencies like burglaries and car prowls will not get a police response.
Where are the rest of the citizens and their need for service?
Right now, we are on priority calls only, which means that people citywide that need a police response are not receiving it. And that to us is just not acceptable.
So the question again is, where do we go from here? Back out here live at this autonomous zone. Seattle police tell me they would like to reopen the precinct. They're working to figure out who the leaders are so they can have negotiations, but that is still unclear. Back to you.
An astounding situation. Thank you, Tammy. Seattle police officers are now required to turn on their body cameras when they're assigned to demonstrations. Chief Carmen Best ordered the policy change after Mayor Jenny Durkan signed an emergency order. The previous policy kept the body cams off to protect the privacy of protesters, but the mayor says demonstrators have been calling for the cameras to record interactions to provide better accountability. More than 16,800 complaints have been filed about the police response to recent protests. New at 11, Amazon is banning police from using the company's facial recognition software for 1 year. Civil rights groups have been raising concerns that the technology could be used for mass surveillance and racial profiling. Amazon did not reference those complaints today, but the company says the pause will allow Congress to put stronger regulations in place. The man accused of driving into a crowd of protesters and shooting a man on Capitol Hill is out of jail tonight after posting bail. Nicholas Fernandez was released just hours after being charged with felony assault. A new police report says that Fernandez told officers he wanted to check out the protest on his way to his work and that he found himself surrounded by demonstrators. His attorney says Fernandez fired his gun to protect himself when one of the protesters reached into his car. Prosecutors believe Fernandez provoked the attack. In a few hours, several streets in downtown Kent will be closed to cars for a march. City officials say the march starts at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, but some streets will be closed as early as 7 o'clock tomorrow morning.